Hello, beautiful kings and queens. Hello. Hello. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day. How's everybody feeling? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Hello, beautiful kings and queens. Hello. I have a very, very special guest with me today, Latice Cawford. I cannot wait. Um, we're going to talk about her new EP, which is called The Cure. And we're going to talk about other projects, beautiful projects that she's doing. Thank you for tuning in today. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, kings and queens. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Yes. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Beautiful kings and queens. Can you all hear me? Hi, Queen.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. I'm gonna
Good.
put my headphones in so I can hear you good.
Yes, ma'am. How's your day going?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm enjoying a little somewhat day off. It's not a full day off, but it's a little bit of a day off. How about yours?
Yes, it's doing good. It's going good, Queen. It's going good.
Good.
It's good to see your beautiful face.
Thank you. Same with you. I've been looking forward to this.
Yes, Queen. Yes. So, Queen, let's just first of all, your voice. Let's just meditate on your voice. The gift
Oh
God has given
man.
you to give us to the world. Lord, when I first saw you, my mom introduced me to you. She's a huge
Wow.
fan of yours.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And
Wow.
I heard you singing Olita Adams giving tribute. And I was like, oh my God, that voice, Lord.
Wow.
It knocked me out this world. I was like, her voice is like no other. So first
Wow.
of all, just thank you for blessing us with your gift to the world with your voice. So beautiful.
Oh, thank
So
you for
Queen,
listening. Thank you. My
yes,
voice is
ma'am.
nothing without an ear. So thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So Queen, so let's talk. First of all, let's talk about your EP, The Cure.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the title, The Cure. How did you come up with that beautiful title, The Cure?
Honestly, I was going through, as I'm sure everybody was. I lost my parents back to back, within a 2 year time span. My mom literally passed away 3 days before the pandemic hit. So it was a lot of stuff going on, and both of my parents were sick. My mom had cancer, my dad was suffering with kidney
Mm,
failure and different things. And we were looking for these cures. Of course, my dad had dialysis and everything else, but he's just like, I don't want to be on this for the rest of my life. My mom is now, after he passes, fighting, for cancer, fighting, her battle with cancer. And she's like, do I really want the cure? Do I want this cure? There's chemo, there's
mm,
radiation, there's all these things. And I was just saying to myself, as a believer, what is the real cure? We
mm.
look for pills, we look for medicine, but ultimately, what's the real cure? And I had to really give myself time, to really trust in the game of death, you know what I mean? And what that really meant for a believer and the promise of heaven,
Mm.
And so I realized in the midst of that, as I was writing that particular song, the
Right.
cure was not all these things down here, that we
Mm.
wanted. In that case, it might have been releasing them and letting them go to get the promise, that we so often speak of with other people. But when
Mm.
it's our time, my mom had said something to me in the sense of like it'll always be something as long as I'm here. But
Mm.
if I go, so I'm not saying I want death anytime soon, but I am saying that, accepting the will of the cure and our cure, is a very
Mm.
powerful thing. And so that, that's what this project was really about, just being open to releasing the pills. It's sometimes, I'm in mental health now, and it's easy sometimes for us to stay broken because
Mm.
brokenness allows us to still use those excuses and reasons as to why we're toxic too. We don't like to admit, that the
Mm-hmm.
reason we keep going to toxicity is because we're toxic too. And so, it's easier, for us to stay broken because brokenness still gives us an excuse and a reason to keep doing what we're doing. But healing and actually getting to something better, it's hard work. It's not easy, and so that's what this, project is talking about. Just us being willing to get rid of the pills and understand and really trust in who our cure is. And mine is
Mm.
God.
Oh, hallelujah. Say that, Queen. Say that, Queen. And you know what's the amazing part, Queen? And death is still a blessing
hmm
because we all are going to get out of here.
Oh yeah.
All of us
Oh
are going to
yeah.
get out of here.
Oh yeah.
God gives us free will to make the choices, our own decisions every day, and that's why we got to make good,
Absolutely.
sound choices. So
Absolutely.
it's always beauty. It's really beauty in death.
It
So
really is.
and a lot of people don't see that. They just look at the bad. But if you take the good and the bad and
Oh
out
yeah.
and look at your good and stay positive, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Because
But it
heaven
was
is where we're trying to get to. Heaven.
that's what it
That's
is.
that's
And,
the
and and
beauty.
and because of that, it was literally me accepting that I have to die to myself daily. If I'm not dying naturally, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, I have to constantly die daily to some of the things I want, some of the things I desire, some of the things I'm praying for. Somebody said to me the other day, like you got all the things you asked for, you just didn't realize until you was in it that you ain't want it. And how
Right.
you're right. Because
Right.
we ask God for so many things and then we're in
Mm-hmm.
it and we're just like, God, why would you put me here? Why did you
Mm-hmm.
leave me here? And he's like, you asked me for that. That's what you said you wanted.
Mm.
But
Right.
because you don't know better for yourself. And so for me, it's like, like I said, just literally every day checking myself and making sure, that what I'm asking for is actually going to add to me getting to the cure. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am.
yeah.
So, Queen, was it a challenge writing the writing process of your songs, the titles? Was that a challenge for you? I know it was very emotional, probably for you to write the EP, for you to go through that with your parents. Tell me how was that writing process for you?
I live everything I write, so it's very rare that I'm just writing a song just because it feels good or sounds good. It's either a conversation or a thought or something, that I've actually went through, and lived. And so, the project is really honestly a journey, through what we all go through in life, whether it's believer or non-believer. The project starts off with a song called Big God, and it's talking about how I met this guy, but I'm talking about God, but it's
Right.
like I met him and oh my God, now I'm not
Girl,
around none of
don't
my
make me
friends
feel
no
good,
more.
girl.
You know
Yes,
what I'm saying? Cause
girl.
he's my fool, he's so good. But not realizing that there are still some things that I have to get rid of. In the song, they're asking me, "Oh, come to the club, girl." And I'm like, I don't go there no more because I'm with Big God. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
And we get caught up, in these relationships and not realizing that we still have the ability to be tempted by the other things. And so I always looked at my relationship with God as a battle and a pull between this other relationship that I have with the enemy. I mean, y'all could say it however y'all want to say it, but I was in a full blown relationship with the devil, okay?
Right.
Like full blown.
We all
You know what
have.
I'm saying? Because if he
Right.
called my name, I was like, what you need? What you want? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And when whatever variation that came in, whether it was a relationship or a job or someplace I just didn't need to be, a lot of times it was hard for me to choose the God thing because the God
Mm.
thing was hard. The God thing didn't look like what I wanted. It didn't always feel the way that the devil thing felt. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, the whole project is kind of written from this relational standpoint of I finally have found this thing that gives me peace. I finally found this thing that makes everything else okay. And realizing all this other stuff was just pills. It never lasts. It never holds me
Mm.
over. It's temporary. And I have to keep finding a new something. You know what I mean? But now I found this something above all of the somethings. And he's amazing. He's my all in all. He's my cure. These are the titles of the songs on the project, by the way. But that's what it's talking about. I'm finding him and realizing he is all of this stuff and more. And I don't really need that,
Mm-hmm.
over there. So it was tough. I will say it was tough I don't think it was tough to write them because they weren't initially supposed to be songs that I was putting out. They were things for me, just writings, little bullet points that eventually turned into songs, and now here they are.
Right, Queen. Right, Queen. And Queen, that is so beautiful. That is so amazing that if you took in these personal experience and you are willing to share it with the world, a lot of people, especially when it comes to the gospel industry, God, they feel like they're the only ones going by themselves. They're the only ones going
Yeah.
through, and they're not realizing it's people out there. We all are going through.
Oh,
We
yeah.
all could bleed the same, and we all are going through in somewhat type of form. We all are going through.
Yeah.
So, Queen, that is so beautiful that you even took the time to give us such beautiful, positive, personal project. And I need everybody to make sure they get the cure. It's coming out June 4th. My birthday is June 3rd, so I'll be turning 30. So I'm gonna be blowing up. Did y'all get my girl? I don't want to hear that. Did y'all get it? Did y'all share? Did y'all post it? Yes. Let's get this EP. Let's get this cure. Yes.
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 So Queen, it's just so beautiful. So Queen, so tell me, how have you been doing since the pandemic's going on? Like, how are you staying afloat with everything, especially your music?
It's been tough. I
Yeah.
think that this situation, it's affected me in the way it's affected me, but I think that it is. Ooh, it's gotten everybody in some kind of way. Musically, of course, it's been just as difficult as anybody else, trying to make sure we can stay afloat and, do different things. But the pandemic really pushed me to delve into some of the other things that I was dabbling in for a little while, but just wasn't fully walking in. About a year or two ago, I had gotten certified in cognitive behavioral therapy and in
Mm,
neurolinguistic program. And then I went to
beautiful.
psychology and ecology. And also, I've always been really fascinated with human behavior and the way our brains and stuff work. And why do we do what we do? When I went on my healing journey, I didn't want to just know what I was doing. I wanted to know why. What are the things
Mm,
that are triggering me to do these things? Why do I continue to go to this thing? Is it trauma? Is it this? Is it that? Or am I just crazy? You know what I mean?
right.
And so I started doing that again for myself to heal and kind of get through some traumas and stuff. And then it led me, to a big part of my women's ministry, opening up a life coaching company,
Right.
specifically, set to help women, empower us, and so it's called Whole Life. And, that kind of kept me really busy and, working and, just constantly having something to do, just really trying to help people through this pandemic. A lot of things came out. You have women who were in relationships that were abusive, and
Mm,
before they had a job or something else, a church they could go to just get that escape. But now a pandemic hits and you're stuck in the house, and you can't leave this situation. How you getting up and moving or taking a stand? There was so many women that were putting things into place to walk away from these types of things, and
right.
now they can't, and they're stuck, and so they needed something, and so a lot of times I have to kind of, call them like I was just a homegirl,
Right.
and not let their, other person know that they were being life coached and being helped, so it was challenging, but like everybody else, you pick it up and you keep it moving and you just get it done.
Right. So Queen, so tell me, how did you know that ministry was your calling?
Oh, I didn't. I ran away from
Mm,
it. I didn't want to be responsible for nobody else getting into heaven because I was having a hard enough time myself. Yeah, when they told me, all my life, it was kind of spoken over me and, said, oh, we want you to, I mean, we think you'll be a pastor or we think you'll be a, and I was like, oh, no, 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 no. God didn't call me for that. Oh,
mm,
you're going to be a singer. You're going to be whatever. I didn't know, honestly. I went to Sunday Best to make everybody leave me alone about
mm,
music. It was like when I go there and these people say my voice is scratchy and raspy and they don't want me, everybody leave me alone. And it just never happened. It just kept, the doors
mm-hmm.
kept
Yeah,
on
cause your
opening.
girl, your voice is amazing. It's beautiful. Talk about scratchy. Where scratchy where? Girl, your voice
But
is beautiful.
it had went from, I used to have a really, really high, voice, and I had lost my voice for about 5 years. I mean, to the point where I could barely speak. If I spoke too much, it would be really hoarse. And so, I wasn't seeing the gift anymore. To me, it was like, oh, well, I lost it, move on, do something different. And so, like
Mm,
I said, when Sunday Best came up, it was more so like everyone else was saying, you need to do this, you need to do it, you need to do it. And I just was like, I don't see it. I'm not out in public kind of person. I'm a hermit. I'd prefer to go out by myself than to have to be with a crowd of people. I'm a hermit, and to know that ministry came with one, I had to get myself together,
right,
ministry wise, because now I have to be an example to other
right.
people.
Queen, let, let, me, 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 let See, I'm in a similar situation where people tell me you're gonna be a pastor, you're gonna be preaching, you're gonna be this. And how did you get yourself together? Because it takes work.
It
It takes a
does. It
lot of
does.
work.
It does. I think for me, I honestly had to realize and understand what my specific ministry was going to be. There's a lot of times that other people get revelation on what you're supposed to do, and they ain't even got no revelation on themselves yet. And I'll be like, let God confirm it to me, okay? Because
Right.
that word wasn't for me. That word was for you, but you
Right.
just gave it to me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I had to really figure out what my ministry was. And when I realized that my ministry was not about me trying to be perfect or,
Mm.
trying to be this particular thing, it was really about me being real with people and letting them know, like, yo, this is a struggle, in this time, trying to get it together, trying to do this, we all have, I want to be the type of person, and I want for my music, to be a place where, when you get a cold or you start coughing, especially, in this COVID thing, you like, oh, wait, is that a symptom? And you look on Google and you like, let me let me see if somebody
Right.
else got what I got. You know what I
Right.
mean? And when you
Yes.
see that there are people out there, one, it makes you feel less scared, but two, it makes you say, you know what? Well, let me see how they got rid of it. And so I always wanted to be this place where people could come to and say, oh, okay, she had these things too. These are the same symptoms. You know what I mean? Spiritual symptoms. But let me check and see what her cure was. Let me check and see what she did or how she did it to get over it. So, like I said, I'm more like a clinic, than I am, you know what I mean? This
Right.
this this perfect, place. I'm not at all. I fall short. There are a few times that I be like, let me zip my mouth or I say something,
Right.
from the
Right.
old Latice. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
people see the
Right.
gowns and they see the makeup and what they forget. Like I'm a New York girl.
Ah,
You know what I mean? Like don't get it, okay?
no,
So I'll be having to, you know what I mean? I'll be
right.
having to like really like be like,
Yeah, come on,
okay.
Chicago. I know how you feel.
Listen, so you already know. You already
I
know.
already know.
You already know, like, I
Yeah.
gotta remember, my
Right.
team is always like, girl, I always gotta remember instead of, being like this, that I gotta,
Right.
you know what I mean? So, it's like I said, it's a feat, it's a challenge all the time, just trying to remember. I think for me, the biggest part is just me reminding myself I have purpose and that there are people that I'm responsible for. And
Mhm.
so while I may fall short sometimes, I can't bask in it and just be like, well, God got me. He died on the cross. So it's like, no, no, no. You got to be sorrowful for if
Right.
you mess up and if you make a mistake, because there are people looking at you as an example, and they're listening to your music. And you have to make sure. That's why I try to make sure my music is honest and is transparent. So people are not like, oh, she over there talking about she lives some life and she over here. I saw, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be real careful with that, So,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how I do. I would just say take the time to really figure out what your ministry is, figure out
Mm-hmm.
where you're effective and use the parts of your life that you may think are shortcomings or downfalls or ugly, use those for the ministry. Me being a single mom, me being divorced, all of those things are things that minister to people, but I was ashamed of them and I was hiding. And
Mm-hmm.
God was like, no, 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 no. I didn't give you that. I didn't cause it, but now I want you to use it for my glory to show people you might break, but you are not broken. You might, be a little scared, but you're not dying. You know what I mean? Let
Mm-hmm.
people know that I'm still God and I'm still good, even in your
Right.
bad. So
Mm.
yeah.
Say that again, Queen. Oh my God, say that again. So Queen, so what's your favorite song on the EP? What's your favorite song?
It honestly depends on the day. It depends on maybe what I'm doing. I will say, for the most part, I listen to Big God a lot. I listen to that song a lot. I think I'm always trying to listen back to it because that song, from when you guys hear it, it's not really music. All of the musical stuff is mostly my voice, So I'm doing all the doo doo doos doo doo. So it's no real instrumentation. I think maybe except for an organ here and there and maybe a few, bass lines. Everything else is, my voice. So I'm always listening back, to hear like, oh, what was that note? How did that, just more critiquing, even though it's already
Right,
done.
right, right, Queen. So Queen, so tell me what's some advice you would give those that have goals and dreams and they want to pursue them, they feel like giving up or they feel like they're trying to find their purpose. What's some advice you would give those people?
One, I would say make sure you want it because that's what you want.
Mm,
I think sometimes we look, in other things and be like, oh, I want that because it appears to be successful. There were people who, looked at me or looked on my feed and thought I was just, had so much, doing so much. They didn't know earlier on I was eating out the garbage. I was,
Mm-hmm.
dirty clothes, wearing them to
Right.
shows and stuff because I just didn't have it. You know what I mean? So I would say if you're trying to achieve something, make sure that it's what you want because it's what you want. And I always give people advice like it's okay to take a little nap. But you don't have to quit. You take some time. But the side B to that is knowing when to quit. I
Mm-hmm.
think that we're in this world where it's just like, no, 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 just keep going, keep going. You have to know when something's not working out and when it's time to move on. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
change something different. Sometimes, if the vehicle stops working, you got to get in another car. You can still get to a destination, but even on a plane, when a plane, is saying it's going to crash and it's not going to make it to its destination, it lands where it needs to keep everybody safe. So I think, that people need to, I'm sorry, I'm seeing this comment that says, can you remove clothes? I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying. I was seeing a comment and it says something about removing clothes. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not this room. Hold on.
Right.
I don't know if it was just a typo, but I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, I told you that New York be coming out of me. I seen it come up. I'm like, hold up, wait a
Right.
minute.
It's a lot of crazy folks on here. Girl, we just gonna pray for them and keep it moving. Ah! Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. So, Queen, that is so true. And Queen, let's talk about how you distinguish people that's really there for you and people that's not. Because you being a black woman and you being a gospel artist and having such messages and purpose, I know you see the people that's trying to be in your life but don't really have purpose, so you can already discern that's really not there for you like they should be. So Queen, so let's talk about how you should be able to tell when a person really is there for you, that truly loves you, and a person that doesn't.
I mean, I think sometimes it's just blatant, but I think, we're caught up, in what's trending. You know what I mean? When I
Right.
say that in regards to, we think that because a person can't completely service us, that means they're no good, at all. So it's
Right.
like, I'll say even, between my sisters, we're very much alike, but in the same breath, we are very different. We all serve each other in our own ways, and I
Mm.
think that we have been really learning and figuring out, like, you know what, I have to stop trying to squeeze you into this box of what I want in this space and understand who you are in that space and what you can actually do. And I think that's how I am with people that are around me as well.
Mm.
I don't allow everybody to have access to me, but
Right.
I've become really good at properly positioning people. And just because you may not be the person that may be buying a CD, you might have been the person that prayed me through a
Mm.
situation, so you're still useful. And I think that
Right.
when we get into that space, one, it takes a whole lot more stress off of us to keep trying to figure out. I really don't care who's there and who's really not there. You'll show
Mm.
yourself. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because I'm not chasing you and you don't have to chase me. But I
Mm.
think
Mm.
that when we remove that expectation from people, and we actually take the time, I have friends now, who that sometimes they in their feelings because I couldn't, call them 52 times, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that. And I'm like, but you don't remember the times before when I was dropping everything I was doing to do, you know what I mean?
Right.
Life is shifting, life is different. I have a
Mm.
son, I have this, I have that. So I think, like I said, I could just, speak for myself. I think it's always wiser and a lot more peaceful if
Mm.
you stop worrying about specifically what a person is doing or not doing, you know what I mean? And just let them be and exist.
Mm.
Like, just let them be and exist. I mean, like I said, people who really, want to be there for you, they'll reach out. They'll be a part. And the people who don't, you can't spend that time trying to focus on the fact that they're not. Just let
Mm.
them be.
Right.
And go, you know what I mean? I always use this analogy. Don't miss, the five for the one. You know what I mean? Or whatever number you want to use. We missed all the people over here on the right that's helping because we
Right.
focused on the one person over there that's not. And
That's not.
suddenly, nobody ain't got my back. Yeah, it's five people over there that you're ignoring because this one
Mm.
person ain't. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So, that's my advice on
Yes, Queen. Yeah. Queen, I hope the world is hearing these jewels that you dropping, Queen. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen.
it.
So Queen, let's talk about self love. How important is it to have self love?
It's really important. I mean, I think self love, helps you figure out your own worth. I had to, go on that journey as well myself for a while. I just completely stopped dating. and nobody could understand why. Like, why you won't connect with
Yeah,
people?
I'm on that
Yeah, you know
same
what I
level right
mean?
now, Queen.
And it was just
Absolutely.
like, I don't want it to be where I have to be with someone in
Mm.
order for me to feel like a whole and complete person. You know,
Hello.
I think that's a personal journey. I want someone that can be in addition to what I've already created for myself. It has nothing to do with being an independent woman, and ain't got nothing to do with that. I would love to have somebody be here and pay my bills and carry my trash out and do all the things that
Hello.
men want to do for women. And I'm not saying that's all you're good for. I'm just saying
Right.
I'm not over here trying to be an independent woman and just trying to do everything myself. But I think that inner work that we need to do as women so that when we are with someone, we're not so insecure. I don't want to have to be with you 24/7 to be
Mm.
secure in the fact, okay, he's not cheating on me. Because if a person wants to cheat, they will cheat sitting right next to you, kissing you. Okay.
Well,
So I
hello.
don't, I
Hello.
want to be able,
Right.
to have the confidence enough in my worth to say, if I'm with you and I ain't with you every day and you are doing those things, I know that's your loss, and I
Mm.
don't have to be worrying about crawling and chasing and doing whatever. So that I think that's self-love. Self-love looks like a lot of things. For me, sometimes it looks like taking a nap. Sometimes it looks like telling my son, no, get it yourself. You're 10. I'm not
Right.
getting up. Go get your own snack. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different things. It's not just going to the spa. It's not just, I'm over here drinking my water and do no. Sometimes it's salsa water. You know what I mean? Sometimes sometimes it's a nap. Like I said, it's a bunch of different things, but it has to be whatever you feel like it is. For me, it was me literally sitting down and writing a list to say, I'm going to try my best to figure out what it is that I like and don't like, because I was the type of person that would morph myself into whatever the person that I was with needed. So if they like this, then that's who I am. So for me, being single is like, no, take time to figure out, do you like tacos or do you only like tacos because Jimmy like tacos? Okay, no, you know
Right.
what I mean? It's literally that
Right.
simple of a thing. Do you
Right.
like bowling? Because you was going bowling before and you don't even know if you like bowling.
Right.
And I think that, like I said, because women, it's so much more ingrained in us to be a prize and to be with someone. I'm like, I want somebody to feel like they my prize too. I want you to
Right.
work hard to be with me too. I don't want to be the only person working hard and trying to look good. I want you to get up early in the morning so you can look good for me too.
Right.
So
Right, Queen. Right. That is so right, Queen. Yes. Yes, Queen. So, Queen, tell me, tell me, how was it for you when you knew that God was real? Because I want to be very careful when I ask you this question.
Mm.
Tell me, how did you know that God was real in your life, in your personal life?
It's gonna come as a shock. As much as I served God, loved God, believed in God, all of it was, I want to say, like almost like, I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't my own. It was
Mm.
because my parents and then their parents and their parents. It was like this thing that was just passed down. We believe in God. We go to church. It was that kind of thing. It
Mm.
wasn't my own really until my parents passed away. And I didn't have
Mm.
them to lean on. And like I said, my mom just passed away March, 2020,
Mm.
and it wasn't, and I'm almost 40. It wasn't
Mm.
until they passed away, as grown as I am, that I really realized, like, wait a minute, I don't have them to go to God, to go through them to get to God anymore. I can't rely on their prayers anymore. I have to now rely on my own. And like I said, it was that time where I was confronted with having to trust
Mm.
God,
Mm-hmm.
heaven, death, this promise that he's going to come back on my own. I had heard it so many times from my parents, Lord is soon to come, Lord is soon to come, Lord is soon to come. We all going to go one morning. That great getting up morning. I had heard that so many times.
Mm-hmm.
It just became a rehearsed thing in my head. So as much as I was out here, as much as I was singing, as much as I was praising God, as much as I was telling people to trust and believe in God, I can honestly say that it probably was last year before a pandemic hit, for me to really say, wow. And then, when the pandemic hit, for me to literally see how even when I was crumpled up in a corner, breaking and crying because my mom was gone, how God still would just provide. Like I just
Mm.
shut everything down. Not working, I'm not talking to nobody, I'm not doing nothing. I'm going over here and I'm going to heal and I'm going to cry and I'm going to do whatever. And literally, God was just sending, and I know it had to be him because
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So I honestly, yeah, I would say in these more recent times and months, that's when I really realized how real he was.
Mm.
Yeah.
Queen, I tell you, I definitely can relate because I had an incident happen to me during Thanksgiving. I went to cardio arrest. I was at work.
Mm,
Now I have heart disease, high blood pressure, and I'm
mm,
seeing more and more every day that God is here. He's steady showing me that He's so
mm,
real and He's so here, so here. And He's here for
mm,
all of us each and every day, no matter what the situation is, no matter how it looks. God is there. You know, we
mm.
look at bad situations at the time. Oh God, you don't love me. Oh, you this, you left me. It's that He has not leaving you. He
Wow.
knows what's best for you. You may
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
understand it. It ain't for us to
Yeah.
always understand.
Mm-hmm.
God is going to tell you, He's going to let you know, hey,
That's
this is
right.
me and this is how I want it to be. And
Yeah.
either you going to stay with Him or you going to go on your own. And
That's
we
right.
try to go on
That's
our own.
right.
We try to make it to heaven. So
That's right. It's
that's what we
true.
try to reach. So
It's
girl,
true.
so Queen, so yeah, so Queen, I want everybody June 4th to get the
Yeah.
EP Their Cure. I don't want to hear nothing. Let's I want everybody June 4th, The Cure to purchase, period. Because we all
Yeah.
need this songs, we need miracles, we need purpose, we need God. We need God's people to remind us
Yeah.
daily that He's real. He loves us all, and He has purpose for all of us. So
Absolutely.
Queen, I just want you to go ahead and just give some more words of beautiful knowledge, the cure before you leave off, because I want to make sure the world is listening and they get the cure. And I'm gonna keep saying it, the cure, until they get it programmed to get the album, because we all need it. Period. So Queen, before you go, Queen, I just want you to give more wisdom and words on how important it is to purchase the cure, because we need to
Mm.
purchase this, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I do need y'all to purchase it.
Yes.
But I feel like, like I said, I tried to make this project be something for all of us, to give us hope and just, kind of lift our spirits. We've been stuck in this place for such a long time, of this pandemic and being stuck inside the house and not being able to connect with one another. And, the great thing about music is that it does connect us, even when we can't physically touch someone. It does connect us. It makes us remember the moments and situations and things. I try to, write my music from a very human experience, very natural experience, where
Mm-hmm.
I've had to invite God into my natural so
Mm-hmm.
He can make it spiritual, because we all do some, real crazy stuff. But I will say this project is much different, than most of my other projects. It's not sad. It's not gloomy. It's
Mm-hmm.
not these testimonies of doom. It's me literally taking back my authority, and telling the enemy, like, not this time. I see you, and like I said, for most of us, I don't know if it's more a woman thing. Obviously, I'm not a man, but when a woman gets to a certain point where we get fed up enough in a situation
Right.
or in a relationship, when we say I'm out and I'm walking away, we mean that thing. And so this project is that representation of me saying to the enemy, like, you got me too many times. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You just did it too many times.
Right.
I see you now. I see what you're doing now. And everything you're doing that's trying to pull me away from God is actually pushing me closer to Him, because I see you,
Mm-hmm.
but also recognizing and realizing that all of these different things, like I said, we're quick to be like the enemy, enemy, enemy. When I say the enemy, I'm saying like my mind, my state of mind, my mental space and capacity. The enemy is not a creator, so it's not like he can just decide that he's going to create a situation or be like, oh, okay, I'm coming up in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
He uses what we give and what we
Mm-hmm.
create and the thoughts that we have and goes, oh, I found her weakness. I found it. So all of those places where he was like, okay, I see she's sad right now. Let me make her feel more lonely. And then I'm going to send this person back into a space and do, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? All those familiar things that you go, I know. And I'm not just talking about, romantic relationships. I'm saying friendships, just
Mm-hmm.
connections, different things
Right.
that you go to as a pill. You know what I mean? But God just kept saying, nope, 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 nope. Don't go back to that. Nope, nope, nope. You don't need that. Remember what happened the
Mm-hmm.
last time? You don't need that. And so, it was just like I said, that moment of being fed up and just saying, I'm taking back my authority. You don't get to
Right.
just keep coming up in here in my stuff
Right.
and trying to wreck it. This is my stuff. This is my house. And I get to say when you get
Mm-hmm.
to come in or not, the door's closed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say, like I said, for anybody who's trying to get to that place and wants to, really make some decisions and stuff in their lives, whatever ails you, it's on the cure.
Right. The cure. The cure is God. That's what
The
you need
cure
to
is
understand.
God.
The cure is God. It ain't no man, it ain't no relationship,
Sure
it ain't
ain't.
no family, no
Sure
nothing.
ain't.
It's God.
Sure
At
ain't. It
the
is
end of the day,
God. It
all we got
is.
is God and us. That's all we
It
gonna have. All
is.
this material stuff out here in the world, that is not going with us. When we
That's
tempted,
it.
it's not going with us. So do the
That's
best
it.
we can each and every day. And just
Yep.
rely on God and depend on God. And try to be,
That's right.
we are not perfect. We're not, God
Yep.
ain't asking us to be perfect, but He's asking us just to do the right thing.
That's right.
Do what God would do.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, girl.
So Queen, I just want to tell you, I love you. This is an air
I
hug
love you
husband
back.
day.
Thank
I can't wait to
you.
meet you. And I want to tell you, I love you very, very, very much. I
Thank you.
want you
Love
to
you
keep,
back.
thank you, Queen. I want you to keep blessing us with the beautiful gift God has given you.
Thank
Keep
you.
using your voice. Keep being an inspiration. Keep letting us know how important it is to have God in our lives. And we just love you. And you deserve your
Thank
flowers each and
you.
every day. And everybody better purchase the cure, okay? Period. Thank you, kings and queens, for tuning in. Make sure you all pick up the cure June 4th. Yes, Latice Crawford, let's pick up the cure, please. June 4th. And I'm going to be reminding y'all because June 3rd, I will be 30 in 3 more days. So, yes. So, beautiful kings and queens, I just want you to know that I love you. Thank you for tuning in. I got some more dope, special, beautiful guests coming on my show soon. So, thank you for tuning in today. I love you all. You all have a beautiful, blessed day. Be safe. Thank you all. Bye.